Hannah stepped off the transport ship and onto the gleaming floor of Docking Bay 7. Her pale blue skin seemed to glow under the station's lights. She pulled her silver travel case behind her and looked around with careful eyes. "Welcome to Research Station Harmony," said a computerized voice. "Current station time is 800 hours. Hannah checked the small device on her wrist. She was exactly on time. Lyrians were never late. Being late meant being inefficient, and inefficiency was the greatest failure a Lyrian could commit. The air on the station felt warm against her naturally cool skin. Humans preferred their environments several degrees warmer than Lyrians did. It was just one of many things that made humans strange to her people. "Engineer Hannah. I'm Director Jin." A tall Lyrian man with the same blue skin and white hair as Hannah approached. His face showed no expression, just like all proper Lyrians. "Your trip was satisfactory. It met all requirements," Hannah replied with a small nod. Director Jin led her through the station's wide hallways. Humans and other aliens moved about, many of them smiling and talking loudly. Hannah noticed how the humans touched each other, pats on shoulders, handshakes, even hugs. Such physical contact was rare among Lyrians. "Your assignment here is simple," Director Jin said as they walked. "Study human engineering methods and report on their efficiency. The Galactic Coalition believes we can learn from each other, but between us—" He lowered his voice. "There is little we can learn from humans. Their technology is at least 70 years behind ours." Hannah nodded. "I understand. There is something else." Director Jin stopped walking and turned to face her. "Be careful of human emotional contamination." "Contamination?" Hannah asked. "Humans leak emotions everywhere. They cry, laugh, shout, and touch constantly. Some Lyrians who work closely with humans begin to show changes." His face tightened in the smallest show of disapproval. "They become less efficient, more distracted." "That won't happen to me," Hannah assured him. She had graduated top of her class at the Lyrian Engineering Academy. She knew how to control herself. Director Jin seemed satisfied. "Your human guide is waiting in Engineering Bay Alpha. You'll be working with him for the next 6 months." They entered a large room filled with machinery that looked rough and unpolished compared to Lyrian technology. Panels were exposed, wires visible, and tools scattered on workbenches. To Hannah, it looked messy and inefficient. A human man stood up from behind a console and smiled widely. His dark hair fell across his forehead, and his brown eyes crinkled at the corners. "You must be Hannah. I'm Ta. Welcome to Harmony." The human's voice was loud, and his smile showed too many teeth. Director Jin made a small gesture of introduction. "Engineer Hannah. This is Engineer Ta. He will show you human engineering practices." Ta stepped forward with his hand extended. Hannah stared at it, remembering her briefing about human handshakes. Reluctantly, she touched her cool hand to his warm one. The moment their hands met, Hannah felt something strange. The human skin was so warm, almost hot to her touch, and there was something in his eyes, something open and unguarded that no Lyrian would ever show. "I look forward to working with you," Ta said, still smiling. "I will complete my assignment efficiently," Hannah replied in the proper Lyrian way. Director Jin gave her a final nod and left. Hannah stood alone with the human, feeling oddly uncomfortable under his friendly gaze. She didn't know it yet, but this moment, this first meeting, was the beginning of something that would change her forever. Like stars colliding in space, some meetings create entirely new things from what existed before. "Let me show you around," Ta said, his voice full of excitement. Hannah followed him through Engineering Bay Alpha, noting how different it was from Lyrian facilities, where Lyrian engineering rooms were clean, white, and perfectly organized. This human space was busy and colorful. Tools hung on walls with painted marks showing where each belonged. Screens displayed data in bright colors with flashing alerts. "This is our main power control station," Ta explained, pointing to a large console. We monitor the energy flow from the station's solar collectors. Hannah looked at the system with critical eyes. Your power grid seems basic. She chose her words carefully, not wanting to offend, though Lyrians rarely worried about such things. Todd laughed. That's one way to put it, but we've added our own touches. Look here. He pressed a button, and a detailed map of the station appeared. We modified the standard design to include backup systems that can work even if the main computer fails. Hannah leaned closer. This was not in the standard design plans she had studied. Why change what works? She asked. Because sometimes things that work still break, Ta said with a shrug. Humans like having backup plans for their backup plans. As they continued the tour, Hannah noticed how other humans greeted Ta. They called out his name, made jokes, asked about his family. One woman even hugged him quickly before returning to work. Do all humans touch each other so much? Hannah asked as they reached a quiet corner of the bay. Ta smiled. Most of us, yes. Don't Lyrians ever hug? No, Hannah said simply. Physical contact is for medical necessity or emergencies only. That sounds lonely, Ta said, his smile fading a little. It is efficient, Hannah corrected. Emotions and physical displays waste energy that could be used for work. Before Ta could respond, a loud alarm sounded. Red lights flashed across the bay. Power fluctuation in Section C, someone shouted. Tay rushed to a console, with Hannah close behind. The screen showed a dangerous surge in the power grid. The regulator is failing, Hannah observed. Standard procedure is to shut down the section and reroute power. But Ta was already doing something different. He pulled open a panel beneath the console and reached inside, connecting wires in a way Hannah had never seen before. What are you doing? She asked. That's not protocol. Protocol takes too long, Ta explained as he worked quickly. This bypass will stabilize the surge until we can fix the regulator. If we follow protocol, 3 habitat sections lose power and people get cold. Hannah watched in surprise as his quick fix worked. The alarms stopped, and the lights returned to normal. See, Ta said, wiping sweat from his forehead. Sometimes you have to improvise. Improvise. Hannah repeated the unfamiliar concept. On Lyria, engineers followed established solutions. Creating new ones in the moment was not encouraged. You would have let those sections lose power? Ty asked as he closed the panel. It would have been more efficient than risking the entire system, Hannah said honestly. Tad looked at her with curious eyes. But people would have suffered. Temporary discomfort is acceptable when following proper procedure, Hannah replied, repeating what she had learned at the academy. Not to humans it isn't, Ta said. His voice wasn't angry, just different. Softer somehow. We put people first, then procedures. Hannah didn't know how to respond to this strange priority system. It made no logical sense, yet she had just seen it work. The humans' quick, unplanned solution had succeeded where Lyrian protocol would have caused disruption. As they continued their tour, Hannah found herself watching Ta's hands as he worked, noticing how they moved with both precision and freedom. There was something about the way humans did things, something different and puzzling, that she couldn't stop thinking about. 3 weeks passed. Hannah worked with Tai every day on the station's energy systems. She noticed many things about how humans worked that confused her. When a junior engineer made a mistake, Tai didn't report it. Instead, he showed the young woman how to fix it herself. When team members finished tasks early, they helped others instead of starting new assignments right away. Most strange of all, they often stopped working to share stories and laugh together. This is not efficient, Hannah told Ta one afternoon as they checked power readings. Maybe not, Tai agreed, but it builds a team. When people feel connected, they work better together. Hannah didn't understand. On Lyria, engineers competed to be the best. Here, humans seemed happier when everyone succeeded together. There's a cultural night tonight in the observatory, Ta said, changing the subject. People from different planets share music, food, and stories. You should come. Why? Hannah asked. It serves no purpose for my work. Not everything has to have a purpose, Ta said. Sometimes we do things just because they're fun. Fun, Hannah repeated. Another strange human concept. Later that evening, Hannah stood in her quarters. She had finished her daily report to Director Jin. She should rest now to prepare for tomorrow's work. That would be the efficient choice. But something made her walk to the observatory instead. The large room had windows that looked out at the stars. Tables were set up with food from many worlds. Music played, and people danced. Hannah stood in the doorway, unsure what to do. You came. Tai appeared beside her, smiling widely. I saved you a seat. He led her to a table where other humans sat. They greeted her warmly. This is Mina, Ta said, introducing a woman with short black hair. She works in medical. And this is Duri, our station commander. Welcome, Engineer Hannah, Duri said. We're glad you joined us. Hannah nodded stiffly. I am here to observe cultural practices. The humans exchanged looks, but their smiles stayed in place. Try this. Tai offered her a small plate with colorful food. It's rice cake from Earth. Sweet, but not too sweet. Hannah took a small bite. The taste was different from Lyrian food, which was made for nutrition only. This had something more, something she had no word for. Good? Tai asked. Interesting, Hannah replied, taking another bite. The lights dimmed, and a small stage lit up. Different people took turns sharing parts of their culture. A group of aliens with 4 arms played strange instruments. A human told stories that made everyone laugh. Then Ta walked onto the stage with a small wooden object in his hands. This is a guitar, he explained to the crowd. An instrument from Earth. He sat down and began to play. His fingers moved over strings, making sounds that rose and fell like waves. Then he began to sing. His voice was low and gentle, singing words about stars and distance and finding home. Hannah felt something strange in her chest, a tightness, a warmth she had never experienced before. The room seemed to fade away until there was only Tai and his song. When he finished, everyone clapped. Hannah found her hands moving together without deciding to do so. What did you think? Tai asked when he returned to the table. Hannah struggled to find words. It was not efficient, she finally said. Tai laughed. No, songs usually aren't. But it was. Hannah paused, trying to understand the feeling inside her. It made me think of stars being born. Tai's smile changed, became softer. That's one of the nicest things anyone has said about my music. Hannah didn't understand why her words made him happy. She didn't understand the warm feeling that stayed in her chest long after the song ended. Most of all, she didn't understand why. For the first time since arriving on the station, she didn't care about efficiency at all. The alarm woke everyone at 300 hours. Red lights flashed, and a loud voice announced, Emergency in Life Support Section 5. All engineers report to stations. Hannah jumped from her bed and dressed quickly. She ran to Engineering Bay Alpha, where other engineers were already gathering. Tai was at the main console, his face serious. What happened? Hannah asked. Cooling system failure, Ta said, not looking up from the screen. Oxygen recyclers are overheating. If they shut down, we lose air for half the station. Commander Duri entered the room. Report, she ordered. We have 30 minutes before full system failure, Tai explained. We need to bypass the main coolant lines and set up emergency cooling. Hannah studied the system diagrams. Lyrian protocol recommends evacuation of non-essential sections, she said. Concentrate life support on critical areas only. The room went quiet. Commander Duri looked at her with hard eyes. We don't abandon any part of this station, Duri said firmly. Everyone gets air, or no one does. That is not efficient, Hannah replied. You risk total failure by trying to save everything. She's right, one engineer said. Standard procedure. We're not following standard procedure, Ty interrupted. We can save all sections if we split into teams. Team 1 will reroute coolant flow. Team 2 will manually vent heat from the recyclers. Team 3 will set up backup power for the emergency systems. That plan has a 43% chance of failure, Hannah calculated quickly. Then we have a 57% chance of success, Ta said with a small smile. I like those odds. The teams formed quickly. Hannah joined Ta on Team 1. They ran through narrow maintenance tunnels, carrying tools and replacement parts. This isn't logical, Hannah said as they worked to connect new coolant lines. You should protect the most important sections first. All sections have people, Ted replied, his hands moving quickly. All people are important. The minutes passed too quickly. Sweat covered Ta's face as he worked in the hot tunnel. Hannah's blue skin had turned a lighter shade from the heat. 15 minutes to system failure, announced the computer. Almost there, Ta muttered. He reached into a small space between pipes. I need to manually connect the flow valve. Suddenly, a burst of steam shot from a cracked pipe. Ta pulled back with a cry of pain. His hand was red and blistered. You're injured, Hannah said. It doesn't matter. Ta pushed forward again. We need to finish. Wait. Hannah grabbed his arm. My skin is more resistant to heat. I will do it. Before he could argue, Hannah reached into the narrow space. The heat burned, but less severely than it would hurt a human. She turned the valve and connected the backup line. Connection complete, she reported. Team 2 complete, came another voice over the comm system. Team 3 complete, added a third voice. They waited. The alarm continued to sound. Then, slowly, it stopped. The regular lights came back on. All systems returning to normal function, the computer announced. The engineers cheered. Hannah felt something strange, a lifting feeling in her chest. Was this what humans called relief or happiness? Then she noticed Ta's hand again. The burn looked painful. Without thinking about protocols or efficiency, she said, You need medical attention. It can wait, Ta said. We should help check all systems. No, Hannah interrupted, surprising herself. You must see a doctor now. I will take you. Ta looked startled, then smiled. Okay. As they walked to the medical bay, Hannah realized something had changed. For the first time since arriving on the station, she had put someone's well-being above the mission. It was not efficient. It was not logical. It was not Lyrian. Yet somehow, it felt right. Hannah couldn't sleep. For the third night in a row, she lay awake, her mind racing with strange new thoughts. A week had passed since the life support crisis, and something was happening to her. She got up and looked in the mirror. Her blue skin seemed different, warmer in tone. Her white hair had a slight shimmer it didn't have before. But the biggest change was inside, where no one could see. When Ta smiled at her, she felt warm. When the human engineers told jokes, she sometimes wanted to laugh. Yesterday, when a young engineer succeeded at a difficult task, Hannah had felt proud. But why? It made no sense. The next morning, Hannah sat with Minna in the medical bay. After taking Ta there for his burn treatment, Hannah had begun to visit Minna regularly, asking questions about humans. Something is wrong with me, Hannah said quietly. I am experiencing feelings. Minna smiled gently. That's normal for humans, but I guess not for Lyrians. We control our emotional responses, Hannah explained. Emotions are inefficient. They cloud judgment. But you're having them anyway, Minna asked. Hannah nodded. I feel happy when Tai is near. I feel worried when I think about leaving the station. I even dream now. Lyrians rarely dream. Minna picked up a small device and scanned Hannah. Your body chemistry is changing slightly. Your temperature is half a degree warmer than Lyrian standard. Is it a sickness? Hannah asked. No, Minna said. I think you're just Adapting. Humans and Lyrians aren't that different biologically. Maybe your time with us is waking up parts of you that were always there, just dormant. Hannah didn't know if this was good news or bad. Should I report this to Director Jin? Before Mina could answer, the door opened and Director Jin himself walked in. His cold eyes moved from Hannah to Mina and back again. "Engineer Hannah," he said flatly, "you missed your daily report yesterday." "I apologize," Hannah said, standing quickly. "I was helping repair damage from the cooling system failure." Director Jin studied her face. "You look different." "I am well," Hannah said, but she felt a new sensation. Fear. Not of danger, but of Jin discovering her changes. "You've been spending excessive time with the humans," Jin observed. "Your work has become less precise. Your reports show unusual focus on human methods." "Their approaches have some merit," Hannah said carefully. Jin's eyes narrowed. "You're becoming contaminated, just as I warned. Your emotions are activating. This is unacceptable." "I am still performing my duties," Hannah argued. "Barely," Jin replied. "I am concerned you are becoming compromised. Perhaps you should return to Lyria for evaluation." The thought of leaving made Hannah's chest tighten painfully. She didn't want to go. She didn't want to leave the station. She didn't want to leave Ta. "I request to complete my assignment," Hannah said firmly. "I have 3 more months." Jin was silent for a long moment. 2 weeks, he finally said. "You have 2 weeks to demonstrate you can control these emerging emotions. If not, I will order your return to Lyria." After he left, Hannah sat down heavily. Her hands were shaking. "Are you okay?" Mina asked gently. "No," Hannah admitted. It was the first time she had ever said such a thing. "I don't want to go back to Lyria. I don't want to stop feeling." Mina touched her arm gently. "Then you need to talk to Ta." "Why?" "Because he feels the same way about you," Mina said with a kind smile. "And because emotions aren't meant to be faced alone. That's the whole point of them. They connect us to each other." Hannah looked up, surprised. "Emotions are for connection." "Of course," Mina said. "Why else would they exist?" Why indeed? Hannah wondered. For the first time, she began to see that what Lyrians called weakness might actually be strength of a different kind. 3 days after Director Jin's warning, news spread through the station. A Galactic Coalition inspection team was coming. Among them would be 3 senior Lyrian engineers. "They want to see our joint projects," Tai told Hannah as they worked on the new power system they had designed together. It combined Lyrian precision with human adaptability. "Our designs are not standard," Hannah said, feeling worried. "Lyrians do not like changes to approved plans." "But our system works better," Ta pointed out. "It's 30% more efficient and can handle unexpected power surges." Hannah nodded but still felt uneasy. She hadn't told Tai about Jin's threat to send her home. She didn't know how to explain her fear of losing these new feelings, these new connections. The inspection team arrived the next day. The 3 Lyrian engineers were tall and cold, looking around the station with disapproving eyes. 6 other inspectors from different species followed them. "This is Engineer Hannah," Commander Dury said, introducing her to the group. "She's been working with our team on several projects." One of the Lyrian engineers, a female named Shuri, looked at Hannah closely. "Your reports have been unusual, Engineer Hannah." "I have been thorough," Hannah replied carefully. "You have been enthusiastic about human methods," Shuri said, making the word enthusiastic sound like a disease. "Show us what you have been working on." Tad led the group to their power management system. He explained how it worked with pride in his voice, pointing out the features they had designed together. "This is not standard Lyrian design," said another Lyrian inspector, looking displeased. "No," Hannah agreed. "It combines Lyrian and human approaches. Why change what works?" Shuri asked, using the same words Hannah had used weeks ago when she first arrived. Before Hannah could answer, a station-wide alert sounded. Radiation surge from the binary star system. All systems prepare for power fluctuations. The inspection team looked worried. Such surges could damage ship systems. Our ships, one inspector started, are safe, Tai finished. Our new system will protect the docking bays. They watched the monitors as the radiation hit the station. Power levels jumped wildly, but their hybrid system adjusted automatically. Where standard systems would have failed, theirs adapted. When it was over, Commander Dury smiled. As you can see, the combined human-Lyrian approach handled the surge perfectly. The Lyrian inspectors looked surprised. Suri turned to Hana. Explain how this system works better than standard designs. Hana took a deep breath. Lyrian systems are precise and efficient under normal conditions. Human systems are adaptable to unexpected problems. Together, they are stronger than either alone. Like emotional responses, she continued, feeling brave. Lyrians think emotions are inefficient, but they help humans connect and work together. When humans face problems, they don't just follow rules. They help each other and find new solutions. Shuri's eyes narrowed. You sound changed, Engineer Hana. I am change, Hana admitted. I have learned that what we call human weakness, their emotions, their connections, is actually their greatest strength. Director Jin stepped forward. Engineer Hana is clearly compromised by emotional contamination. I recommend she return to Lyria immediately. The room went silent. Hana felt cold fear. She looked at Ta, whose face showed shock and sadness. But then Commander Dury spoke. With respect, Director, Engineer Hana's work has been outstanding. Her understanding of both Lyrian and human approaches made today's success possible. Shuri looked thoughtful. The results are impressive. Perhaps there is merit in this combined approach. She turned to Hana. You will continue your assignment, Engineer Hana. We wish to see what other insights this collaboration produces. Director Jin looked displeased but said nothing more. As the inspection team left, Ta moved to Hana's side. You almost got sent home. Why didn't you tell me? Hana looked into his eyes. Because I was afraid, she said, using the word openly for the first time. Afraid of losing this place. Afraid of losing these feelings. She paused. Afraid of losing you. 2 weeks after the inspection, Hana received a message. Her assignment would end in 15 days. A Lyrian ship would arrive to take her home. Home. The word felt strange now. Lyria didn't feel like home anymore. Hana sat in the observatory, looking at the stars. She had spent 5 months on Station Harmony. 5 months that had changed everything about her. Mind if I join you? Tai asked, walking over with 2 cups of hot tea. Please, Hana said, moving over to make room. Ta handed her a cup and sat beside her. I heard your assignment ends soon. Yes, Hana said. The thought made her chest hurt. 15 days. They sat quietly, watching the twin stars in the distance. Their light made patterns on Ta's face that Hana found beautiful. She had never thought about beauty before coming to the station. We still have the power regulator upgrade to finish, Ta said, breaking the silence. We should start tomorrow. They worked side by side for the next week, trying to complete their final project. Neither talked about Hana's coming departure, but it was always there, like a shadow over them. 3 days before Hana was to leave, they were testing the new regulator when alarms sounded. Meteor shower detected. The computer announced. All personnel to safety zones. We need to get to Shelter D, Ta said, grabbing Hana's hand. They ran through the corridor, but a sudden impact shook the station. The lights went out. Emergency lights came on, casting red shadows everywhere. The main passage is blocked, Ta said, checking his tablet. We need to go through Maintenance Tunnel 7. They climbed into the narrow tunnel. Another impact hit the station, throwing them forward. A heavy door slid shut behind them. Automatic lockdown, Tai explained. We're safe here, but we're also stuck until the all clear. They sat in the small maintenance pod, just big enough for 2 people. Outside, They could hear the distant sounds of meteors hitting the station's shields. "How long will we be here?" Hannah asked. "Maybe an hour, maybe more," Ta said. "The pod has air and emergency supplies." Hannah looked at Tai in the dim red light. His face seemed different somehow, more serious than she had ever seen it. "I don't want you to go," he said suddenly. Hannah felt her heart beat faster. "What?" "Back to Lyria," Ta said. "I don't want you to go. These past months, working with you, being with you, it's been the best time of my life." Hannah didn't know what to say. Lyrians didn't talk about feelings this way. But she wasn't just Lyrian anymore. "I feel different when I'm with you," she said carefully. "Warm, happy, complete." "That's how I feel too," Ta said. He reached out and touched her face gently. His hand was warm against her cool blue skin. "On Lyria, they will try to fix me," Hannah whispered. "They will say I am broken because I feel these things." "You're not broken," Ta said firmly. "You're more whole than anyone I've ever met." In the red glow of the emergency lights, Hannah looked into Ta's eyes. She had studied humans for months, but only now did she truly see what made them special. It wasn't their technology or their methods. It was their hearts, their capacity to feel, to connect, to love. "I don't know if I can stay," she said. "Lyrians follow rules. We don't just decide to live on human stations. Some rules are meant to be broken," Ta said. "Some things are worth fighting for." He leaned closer. Hannah felt her breath catch. This wasn't in any training manual, any protocol. This was something new, something wonderful and frightening all at once. "I think I'm in love with you," Ta whispered. As the meteor shower continued outside, Hannah made a decision that would change her life forever. She closed the distance between them and pressed her lips to his. The kiss was gentle, warm, perfect. And in that moment, she knew she had found where she truly belonged. The day of departure arrived. Hannah stood in her quarters, looking at her packed bags. Her time on Station Harmony was officially over. The Lyrian transport ship had docked an hour ago. A soft knock came at her door. "Enter," she called. Ta stepped in, his face sad but trying to smile. "Ready?" he asked. Hannah looked at her bags, then back at Ta. After their time in the maintenance pod during the meteor shower, something had changed between them. They had spent every possible moment together in the last 2 days, but neither had spoken about what would happen when she left. "The Lyrian ship is waiting," Hannah said quietly. They walked together to the docking bay. Many station crew members had gathered to say goodbye. Mena hugged her, which no longer felt strange to Hannah. Commander Dury shook her hand firmly. "You've done excellent work here," Dury said. "You will always be welcome on Harmony." Director Jin stood by the airlock to the Lyrian ship. His face showed no emotion, as proper for a Lyrian. But Hannah could now recognize the disapproval in his eyes. "Engineer Hannah," he said, "the ship is ready for departure." 3 Lyrian officers stood behind him, waiting to escort her aboard. They looked at her with curious eyes. Her changed appearance was obvious now. Her blue skin had a warmer tone, her white hair had more shine, and her eyes showed emotions that no proper Lyrian would display. Hannah turned to face the gathered humans, then looked at Ta. His eyes were wet with tears he was trying not to shed. Humans cried when they were sad, she had learned. The thought of causing him pain made her own chest hurt. In that moment, Hannah knew what she wanted, what she needed. She turned to Director Jin. "I request to remain on Station Harmony," she said clearly. A murmur went through the crowd. Jin's eyes widened slightly, a major show of surprise for Illyrian. "That is not possible," Jin said. "Your assignment is complete. You must return for evaluation and new assignment." "I wish to serve as the Lyrian Human Liaison Officer," Hannah said. "The Galactic Coalition encourages cross-species cooperation. My experience makes me uniquely qualified." "You have been compromised by emotional contamination," Jin said, his voice colder than usual. "You require treatment." I am not sick, Hannah replied firmly. I have grown. I have learned. I now understand both Lyrian and human perspectives. That makes me valuable here. Commander Dury stepped forward. The station would formally request Engineer Hannah's assignment as our liaison officer. Her work is proven invaluable. Jin looked from Hannah to Dury, then to the waiting Lyrian officers. If you stay, he said quietly to Hannah, you may never be fully accepted on Lyria again. Your emotional development will be seen as concerning. Hannah felt time move to stand beside her. His hand found hers, warm against her cool skin. Some discoveries are worth the sacrifice, Hannah said. She squeezed Ta's hand. I have found something here that I never knew existed. I have found connection. I have found home. Jin stared at their joined hands. Finally, he gave a small nod. I will submit your request to the Lyrian High Council. Until their decision, you may remain on the station, but be aware that your choice has consequences. All choices do, Hannah replied. The Lyrian officers looked confused, but they returned to their ship. As the airlock closed, Hannah felt a weight lift from her shoulders. Later that evening, Hannah and Tai stood in the observatory. Through the large windows, they could see the binary stars, and beyond them, a stellar nursery where new stars were being born. What happens now? Tai asked, his arm around her shoulders. I don't know exactly, Hannah admitted. This is new territory, but I want to explore it with you. She looked at the stellar nursery, where cosmic dust and energy were combining to create something new and beautiful. Stars are born from collision and change, she said softly. Different elements come together and create something greater than the sum of their parts. She turned to look at Ta. Like us. As their hands intertwined, Hannah knew that whatever challenges came next, she had made the right choice. In this human's eyes, she had found not just love but herself, a self she never knew existed until she allowed herself to feel it. Some stars roamed the universe alone. Others found their place in a system, connected and whole. Hannah had tamed her stars. She was home.